housing benefits. All of these systems are mandated reporters, and when you come into more contact, the more contact families have with these systems that are raped with institutional racism, it just naturally will happen that these populations will become overrepresented. We want to see changes to the mandated reporting laws. We want to see more support for families. There is a lot of money spent to rip families apart and to pay for their stays in the system, but there is not a whole lot of support for parents that are struggling with poverty issues, parents that are struggling with domestic violence, parents that are struggling with housing issues. So the amount of money that the government spends to keep children in state care and to remove them, we would like that money instead to be invested to support families and keep them together. So 94% of calls to CPS are against people of color. 50% of black children in the United States will be subjected to a CPS investigation. In Los Angeles, the largest family regulation system in the country, while black children are 10% of Los Angeles' population, they represent 40% of the young people in the child welfare system.
How many bills are being offered that
today, I think there are three that are relevant. One is AB 1686, and AB 1686 addresses the inhumane practice of child welfare agencies charging parents for child support to pay for their children's stay in foster care, which really interferes with parents' ability to bring their children home, to navigate their case, and even to stay housed and to hire private counsel. Over here we have two families that are impacted. We have a homeless couple, a homeless father, and they are being charged, their checks are being garnished to the point where they have nothing. We have disabled parents that are working 3 jobs to pay child support, and they are not able to effectively navigate their cases. And this really, it's collecting fees for children that are in foster care really impacts low-income families the most, and that's who's being charged. And another bill is AB 2085, and that would change their mandated reporting laws so that it's only required by law to mandate report on parents in cases where there is abuse and severe neglect. And that would change a lot because there's a lot of mandated reporting laws that, again, fall into where neglect is overly broad and too often conflated with poverty.
And the first one was about
AB 1686.
fees that parents have to pay for their child to be in foster care?
Yeah. Good afternoon. My name is Michelle, and today we are here with the Families Resist Day of Action. And we broke off into 3 groups, and this is one of the groups. So part of the day, part of reform is the reason why we protest and we rally is to get the attention of legislators, get the attention of lawmakers. We are pushing for policy reform. We are also pushing that, for the laws to be followed. So we need to show that. So we broke up into groups. This is one of our groups, and we are here today to lobby in favor of family preservation and family reunification. There are 3 bills that we're supporting: AB 1686, AB 2085, and there was one more, which I actually don't have in front of me, but it's a birthing justice bill. So everyone is here. Do you guys want to say anything to our live audience before we go in and knock on doors?
Just be safe.
Okay, look at, that's Leonard's, he brought his sign in, huh? Okay. All right guys, so we're going to go into the lobby, okay? Thank you for supporting us and helping us get our rights out there, so you just stop getting violent. We've been just going to your assembly. So we're your assembly. I'm meeting with Governor Newsom's secretary in 5 days, but we want a small group. But you look up your assembly member, your senator, and then there's room numbers here. So who's your assembly member, who's your senator?
Do it fast.
Oh, it's good.
No, it could be from lobby.
And wants to keep families together.
2085? And are they going to give services? Okay, perfect. Well, if it goes to the next one, I'll go and talk to the branch director. And if you want to just call Mary Davies' office and give them those bills, I'll be happy to. Thank you. Appreciate it. Your voices do matter.
Thank you.
So Laura Davies said we can call and support from Orange County. We have a lot of people here in our group. We broke up into 3 groups. We have 450 people in Capital. A lot of our folks are from Southern California.
I've got a meeting, and that's why I'm running. I just wanted to stop though, because I think
So
it's important
look
to see
at
what
this
you're here
and
for.
we decide where we
Instead
want
of
to
just
go.
walking by
Okay,
like.
well, I was hoping you could.
I appreciate it.
Sam, you want to go?
Hi. Lobby for policy reform is Representative Kylie here right now?
He's not. Welcome to chat with me.
Okay, we are actually
Just important.
here in support of AB. We're here in support of CPS reform, and I don't have our fact sheet this person as it is going to be like an elevator. There were actually 3 groups of us. We are here rallying at the Capitol at 1 o'clock. There's going to be, we have 450 people registered and confirmed, all here. System impacted parents from all across the states, system impacted grandparents all across the state to demand that policy reform in favor of family preservation.
Here comes Mom.
Child Protective Services accountable, and also, so specifically the 2 bills that are on the floor right now that we're asking Representative Kylie to support is AB 1686. And that's the bill that's appropriations here today, and it would reduce the amount of parents that refer to child support services, and also AB 2085, which would reform the mandated reporting laws related to child protective services reform. Our website for the event is www.familiesresist.com. And so I wanted to give you some information. Candy, will you talk a little bit about how, about what's going on in about 2 minutes, just about the overreach of CPS and how you are being charged with child support after they kidnap your children, and how it's affecting your case?
So I had CPS come and remove my kids off of false allegations. All of my evidence is based off of, none of it is based off of hearsay or speculations. It's literally their own documents and county records that we had to pull ourselves. They made a false police report to have me arrested. My children's father committed suicide over all this. I've lost everything. They charged me child support. I've paid 3 lawyers to fight my case. They will not allow me to submit in any of my evidence to prove that everything that they've made against me was completely false. And I don't know what to do. They're adopting out my children, and I'm willing to do whatever I can to get them back.
AB 2085, we're asking that the mandated reporting laws be changed because a lot of parents are reported on by hospitals and schools for issues that have nothing to do with child safety. And there's a lot of parents that are being over-reported on, and it's really causing overreach, and it's causing far more harm to children and parents.
With mandated reporting, I had a specific mandated reporter. Well, my children and I were in a shelter, and she told them that she felt like because I had too many children and I was a single mother that I couldn't handle my kids. Like, how can you judge a situation and say, oh, she has too many kids? Like, that's not your call. So that's one of my examples.
Right, and then you're Sabrina, right?
Yes.
In Sabrina's case, her case all had to do with, like we said, it was all issues related to poverty and the amount of money that the government has spent chasing her and trying to tear her family apart. They could have just given her housing. They could have just given her support. And here she is speaking out. Look at her. She has her children, and time again, there are so many resources. Foster care and adoption is a multi-billion-dollar-a-year industry. And all of that money that's being spent, family destruction in itself is child abuse. So we need to start passing laws that don't incentivize, and I mean, adoption is not the golden answer. And we have a lot of people in our group that are actually adoptive parents, where the children fall back into the system, and where the children continue to have problems because they are ripped from their loving parents. So we're asking your office to really vote in favor and to push bills and support family preservation, and that really look at not punishing parents for issues and over scrutinizing parents. And I think the specific issues today were, AB 1686, AB 2085, and there was also the birthing justice bill that would improve outcomes for birthing mothers.
He's not, he's in the meeting.
Oh, that's too bad. So we are, my name is Michelle Dechan, and can we have a fact sheet? We are here with the Families Resist. We have a rally at the Capitol that is bringing together hundreds and hundreds of child welfare and family court system impacted parents and families. So we are advocating for change and for policy reform in favor of family preservation, and also to reduce some of the unfair policies where parents are being they're having their children removed from their custody, and then they're being charged for it, which is an incredible injustice for low-income and even middle-income parents that are going through all this trauma. The specific bills that we are, so in general, we are asking you guys to just support family preservation in general, and if you'll see us later at the Capitol, we broke up into 3 groups. There are hundreds of us coming out, and we are all the very people that are impacted. This is a grassroots movement. Everyone that came here from all over the state at their own expense.
Is there specific like?
Yeah, AB 1686.
Is that what was the bill again?
AB 1686.
You said 1686.
Yes, and the other one is AB 2085. Okay, and
those are just 2.
Those are 2, and then there was also the birthing justice bill. I don't have the number with me.
Okay, I can look it up.
Right, and that's all relevant to us today, and we're also in addition asking for future reforms. And do you mind hearing from 2 parents we have in support of each of those?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so this is Kathy, Candy.
Where are you from?
I'm from Yucaipa,
From where?
San Bernardino area.
Okay, hi. I'm Ray. Nice to meet you. Thanks so much for coming here.
Candy was specifically impacted by I think both of them, but also by AB 1686.
Okay.
So my kids were removed off of false allegations in 2019. All my evidence is based off of the own records, county records, and anything we've had to pull ourselves. I've lost everything. My kids' dad committed suicide. They've done nothing but falsify everything in my whole case. I'm not allowed to submit in any evidence on my behalf to prove that they lied.
Are you given the opportunity to have like an attorney at all, or
I've paid 3 attorneys, and all my evidence is well documented with the table of contents. They will tell me they will only put in what's relevant, even though everything is relevant. It breaks down any accusation that's made against me with proof. And then what they do is they add so much.
Go ahead, keep talking. I just want to make sure we're following this.
They continue just to throw accusations on so that I have to fight it, and then it's so much evidence. They say that there's too much evidence to even submit it in.
Right, and I also want to make a point. You asked if she has an attorney. The reason why she's unable to hire a private attorney is because she's paying child support. And so that's, she
So
cannot.
much. They based my child support off of my overtime I was making. And so the time I wasn't getting overtime, I was struggling. I couldn't afford to live on my own. My children and I, we had a nice, huge house.
When your kids were taken from you, did you have to pay restitution to the state because of that?
So what happened was they put.
I asked this because I've done a little research on kids being taken from their parents and parents having to pay restitution and being a burden on you. That's why I asked.
No, yes, and I can completely get that. So what happened was the original allegations I was able to prove were false. So a year later, after kidnapping my children, they went and made a false police report to have us arrested. But we were able to show them my evidence and show them that the discrepancy between what they were saying about us and what really happened. So thank God I didn't get arrested, or I would have been probably, well, it's different. If I were to go fight it in criminal court, they would not have even tried to take this up in court at all. But in the juveniles, we're not allowed to submit in any evidence on our behalf. They're adopting out my children right now, and I have no say in this. They held court dates behind my back and adopted out. One huge thing that's been very impacted besides the child support and all that is them being able to falsify evidence and justify kidnapping children off of that. That's, to me, so unconstitutional. You know, I'm like so mind blown on how everyone's like, oh, we got all these rights. And I was like, those rights were put to protect us, but yet they're allowed to violate them. I just don't understand that.
No, I really. What was your name?
Candace?
Candace. Okay.
Kenny, I also want Rebecca to
Yeah. I just have a few more minutes, guys, because there's other meetings. But please, I'd love to hear you.
Could I take a minute?
But specifically, Rebecca's impacted by AB 1686, so I wanted to hear from
Yeah, go ahead, Rebecca.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I had my kids taken about a year and a half ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And ever since my kids were taken, I have been paying child support. I did have stable housing as well as her.
May I ask who you pay child support to? Is it to like a specific family or is it just to the state?
To the state.
I've worked on something similar like this. I'm kind of familiar with what you're saying. Because some of the research that I had found is that like another like you who is trying, you pay child support, it's a bigger burden for you if you're trying to pay, work 2 jobs, you can't take care of your kids. I get that, yeah.
I've been paying it for a year and a half. I did have stable housing. I did have 3 cars, everything. I lost everything due to paying child support. I currently live in a hotel right now.
Are you here in Sacramento or are you in
No, I'm actually from Fresno County.
Here's a
They've
hotel.
pushed us to, that's my husband, Julian Santana. They've pushed us, those are the hotel vouchers, the hotel stays and the prices that we've been paying.
And I'll let you keep that, it's great to know.
This is the Amazon A to Z app, and they're acknowledging off of their system that she's only entitled to really 35% of her pay, which how can anybody really live off of that?
Who's the author to this again? Do you know?
Isaac Bryan.
So is there something similar to this?
Yeah, I've been paying
there's more than one
a year and a half now.
Yeah, no, there was one 2019, 2020 that was something similar. Because I know what you're talking. I've heard of this before.
We've been pushed to live in a hotel for almost a year and a half, and CPS is trying to push us to get stable housing, which is
do you have a card?
insane.
You know what? The flyer, familiesresist.com, if you can reach me through there.
Look at these are
That's my
What was your name?
Michelle D. Chen.
Look at these are paid details, right?
I'll write my information
These
down.
are paid.
I didn't bring it because I had the
These are paid
flyers.
details, and look at off of the paid details, because we got a court order saying that we have to provide medical insurance, right? Purchase it, and half of that goes into our benefits. The other half goes into garnishment, taxes, and take home is 0. We called at work and we said, how are we supposed to survive off 0? You have to talk to the people garnishing you, because they consider the garnishment of before taxes.
But yet CPS is requesting that we provide housing for our kids, but how are we supposed to provide housing for our kids if we're being garnished so much? And in order to get housing, it's triple
If
the
you want to go
amount.
through it and make sure that it's all
I totally
legit,
believe you.
it's the A to Z app. We work for Amazon.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do some research because, like I said, there's something similar that I researched, but it was written by a lady, woman, assemblywoman. It was slightly different. It had to do with her juvenile son committing a crime at like age 16, and while he was in juvenile hall, by the time he was 21, she was still paying for his restitution. But they also put in mothers like yourself that were 2 groups in one. That's why I'm familiar with what you're saying.
And you know, every person that you talk to, well, they're gone now, but every person you would talk to, you would hear injustice after injustice. It's an area of law that is beyond the pale. And if the legislatures, people attend to it, pay attention, and just attend to the matter, it will help.
Yeah, can you give me one?
I'm pretty sure
We appreciate you
as
so
a
much.
human, you're pretty knowledgeable to know when somebody's making something up or somebody's trying to influence. This is my daughter saying that she's being abused while in foster care, and they told me that I coached her.
She's trying to scare me.
That's a care provider.
She's scaring you? Yeah. How did she scare you? She's trying to scare me. Janice touched me.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear
What did
that.
she do? Show me.
And Janice is touching me. And Janice is touching me.
Yeah. Have you guys?
What
Look
she
at
does?
Law enforcement don't want to do
Look at her
nothing.
reaction right there. Look at she's remembering something. You see what I mean?
Also with my children
And
too.
they said that I manipulated her, and they don't want to admit that. So she kept on having bruises and stuff, and until they moved her into another care provider, she stopped getting bruises. And I told them, as soon as you guys move her, she's gonna stop. They were blaming my 1-year-old, saying that she's doing that to my 3-year-old, and my 3-year-old saying that she's bruising my 1-year-old. And I said, I know my kids. How can you guys tell me about my kids? I know my kids. You know, and I said, when you guys move them,
beautiful family.
The proof.
Thank you. I don't get to see them. I don't get to hear. Can you hold this real quick, please? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I don't get to see my kids, sir. You know what I mean? I raised these kids. I had these 2 kids right here. My wife left me with these 2 babies that were in Pampers. I raised them for 11 years, and I got custody of these 2 kids in Monterey Park, California. And then I got custody of these 2 kids. But when 2012, I reported that Kevin Highsmith was molesting my daughter after I got custody of her. She was 5 years old. The social worker called it an overnight visit and was with the mother at the hotel in Lancaster, California. And they called it an overnight visit. He never reported to the judge. The special victims in Lancaster told him to report it to the judge. It was never reported with his name or nothing. The man he went back into the home after the mother got the kids back. Later on in the future, he ended up raping her and molesting her. The judge in Monterey Park, California, took it off the record when I told her that because my daughter Veronica stole the cellular phone. I don't get to see none of my kids. I was at a domestic violence shelter in Barstow. I came up on the Barstow News and I got the program $10,000 for being a domestic. You know, a lot of men, you won't think that domestic violence happened to us. They do. I was with my children. My kids were removed there. I went to prison for 14 months, okay, for perjury, and I was framed. You know what I mean? I come out and I find out my children was molested. My son, Anthony, came back to me 2019 when I got released. He contacted me. He tells me the same story. He was raped by his stepfather, and then being in the foster care, he was raped and molested also. You know what I mean? And we tried bringing attention to everyone, even with the police. The police don't want to do nothing, and everybody's sending us back to CPS. You know what I mean? I'm exposing judges, I'm exposing lawyers, DAs, and everything, their names, everything. Okay, if I have done anything wrong, I'm chasing the American dream. I want my children back, and I think that I deserve another chance. They're saying that I have mental health problems. This is their last resorts of covering this all up. Okay, they're saying that I abandoned my children. Why am I not seeing my children? I'm a good father. Look in the pictures here. You know what I mean? I have pictures, other pictures, than where there were babies in Pampers. You know, being a father, it was hard to learn how to get up in the middle of the night, take them to the WIC programs, and you know, pat them on the back, burp them and stuff. I did this as a man. I got the experience to know what a woman goes through, you know. And I'm asking, you know, I need this case to be looked into. I want my children. I traveled from Tijuana.
May I ask, what district do you live in?
I live in LA County. I live in Tijuana, but this is out of LA County, and San Bernardino is doing this to me. I had to move out of Tijuana because my lawyer got murdered, and he was going against CPS.
Sorry, whoever the assembly member who is in San Bernardino, right? Go to their district office.
We have been there. I've been there. And I'm telling you what they're doing. Even the judge, when we said about the judge in LA County, when Veronica stole the cellular phone and told me she was, where were you, Dad, when he molested me and raped me? I reported this to the judge. The judge took it off the record. They're covering it up. We have a corrupt system. We have corrupt judges. You know what I mean? And these are war crimes against, you know, fathers and mothers. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know, and
yeah, so what we can do here is we will definitely look into those bills that we talked to you about. And, you know, I think hearing your stories, hearing your personal stories is very personal to us. And because it's one thing to just look at a bill and say, well, you know, what does it do? It's a whole other thing to put a human element to it, right?
Yes.
Hearing your story and seeing the pictures of your beautiful family.
Thank
you. And as a legislative aide, I'll speak to my team about it and say, look, this is what they spoke to us about. We'll even look up, who the assembly members are in that district.
Okay.
It's about coordination, seeing, what's the best fit, going forward.
It's been 4 years I haven't seen my children.
Hi,
Okay.
doggy.
It's been 4 years. I didn't lead to drugs or alcohol or depression. I'm in this to the fight to the end with the families, okay?
Yep.
I dedicated my life to not just fighting for my children, but for others. And this is for our freedom. This is our country, for the powerful country in the world.
What was your name, sir?
My name is Leonard Michael Garcia Jr.
My name is Ray. Thank you guys very much
you.
for coming out.
To afford housing, yet CPS is telling us we need to get housing in order to get our kids back. But they're not understanding due to them charging me so much child support. I'm barely even making it. I have to live in a hotel because I cannot afford to bring my kids home into a house. I have to bring my children home into a little small hotel. There's 4 of us.
Your constituent. Make sure
And
they're profiting off you.
they're profiting off of me. I'm working for free. I'm not even receiving a check. I didn't receive a check for a whole month. I'm working for free. I can't live like that. You can't expect anybody to live off that.
These are just the proofs of what she's talking about, right?
Ain't
We got a
over-
court order saying that we have to provide medical insurance for our kids if it's provided through work, which, we're trying to go by, according to whatever we get court ordered to do, right? And then half of it goes to garnishment, that goes to taxes, and take home is 0. Now imagine you, like, let's say for instance, putting yourself in our situation, if you had to be seeing paychecks where you're taking $0 and 0 home, what kind of position would that put you in to where you can kind of sympathize or empathize as to our standpoint of saying, okay, like where's the justice in that? How are we expected to really get our kids back and be successful and not more or less get on food stamps and expect more from the government when we're being taxed, we're being asked for money.
That's not going to our kids.
We can't even live off of that,
And it's obvious it's not
and then
going
look
to our
at
children.
on the anytime pay,
where
because
is it
we
going?
work for Amazon, right? And they have an anytime pay. Right here, their system is even basically saying all you're really working for is 35% of minimum wage. Which you can't live off of that. Who's going to be able to pay rent or pay gas or do anything? We're living together. Right? And we're both combining finances, and we barely even make it enough. This is almost a whole year, right? Our hotel stay, because we try to apply for housing places, and as I'm not pretty sure you rent or you rented before, you have to make 3 times the pay in order for somebody to be able to lease you the place. Okay. With that garnishment, you won't qualify. So that automatically puts you homeless. And then makes you dependent on food stamps, right? The money that we do get, it's barely even enough to cover our stay, because both together, we barely have enough for that.
We pay
for
$1,800
gas, and then to go to laundromats since they don't have laundry right there, and to wash our laundry. That's it. Anything else is we're stepping out of budget, and we try telling them how can we live off of that? Well, when we called our work and we complained about it, they're all, well, you got to call child support and tell them, because they're the ones that send us the document, a legal document, which we got to go by. So we call them and we're all like, how are you expected to live off of this? They're all like, well, and how can you guys take that much draw? Because it's before taxes. And we're all like, okay, are you guys even considering the fact that you guys, we got a court order saying that we have to pay for medical insurance?
I've been,
And then they said, no, we don't consider consider that. You know, that's something that everybody gets. Okay, so you guys are not considering, they're taking half of our check basically for that and the other half to you guys. What is that really leaving us with? You know, so they're creating a poverty level, and imagine us, we don't have the mentality where we feel that we gotta go and see what somebody else has and say we're entitled to that, because those people worked hard to get what they have, and we can agree to that, right?
But unfortunately, you're in a
But
situation where
we're in a situation, so now when we're in a situation like that, there's other families or other people that are affected in a way where it's impacting the community, where they feel that like they're a corner rat. Like you corner a rat, and what is the rat gonna do? It's gonna jump out at you. So a lot of people feel like cornered rats, where they feel that there's no other option but to go out there and be committing crimes and be doing stuff. So that's exactly how it's impacting the community, because for like, what wouldn't people do for their kids? So if the system is really asking you, you need to do all of this in order to get your kids back, and you're trying to do everything legally to get your kids back, but you're still being put through this.
that would be more.
A lot of people are saying, I have no other option. I have to go and do this because working legally, I can't make enough because they're taking it all. So it's like they're cornering people into these positions, and that's impacting everybody. The laws that are already put into place, or the guidelines to getting families back home, they're not going by that. I'm not sure if you've ever looked into that, right? But they say,
people to come at 12.
they say, okay, if your kids are under 3 years old, you got 6 months. You got 6 months to cross every T and dot every I.
You have a card? I don't on me right now. No, thanks so much.
And then you'll get your kids back. Okay, so what happens when you cross every T and dot every I? But they says, okay, you've been doing everything required, but that's only granting you another 6 months. And we're like, okay, well, your guys' system says this, so why aren't you guys going by it? Oh, because we're not sure, we want to make sure the kids are safe. That's what they always respond to. So it's like they're manipulating the system. So what's the whole point of having a system there in place when they're not even going by it, when the system also, like, there's a lot of loopholes within the system which allows them to get away with other stuff where they're unchecked, unregulated. There's no oversight. I've tried to see who I can call to complain about it and to make a complaint about all of this, and they have no oversight. So that's kind of crazy.
Come on, people, the way we gotta do it, we gotta fight, we gotta stand up for our children, we have to stand up for the elderly, so we have to fight, we have nothing to do with it. This is my son, she is smoking all that. We can win for our kids, we can win for the elderly. God bless you, please.
Stop child trafficking!
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 Stop child
That's right,
trafficking!
give us your sign! Stop child trafficking!
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 End CPS abuse!
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 End CPS abuse! End CPS
Hold corrupt judges accountable!
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 Jail corrupt social workers!
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 Jail corrupt social workers! In conservatorship abuse!
In conservatorship abuse!
In conservatorship abuse!
In conservatorship abuse! Parental alienation is a crime.
All my kids, stop violating our children! Bring our children home! Everyone join us. If you don't have a sign, you should have a sign. If you are not shouting, you should be. If you're not pissed off, I don't know what to say. Gavin Newsom, you're up for re-election. Let everyone grab a sign. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Our children. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Our children back. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Our children back. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Our children. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Our children. Now. Our children. What do we want?
Isolation is abuse. Isolation is abuse.
Bring our children home.
Bring our children home now.
Bring our children home now.
Bring our children home now.
Bring our children home.
Bring our children home now.
Foster fraud. End foster fraud. End foster fraud.
End foster fraud.
End foster fraud.
End foster fraud. End foster fraud. End foster fraud. End foster fraud.
by ear every day. How you doing?
Hello, I am Mark Andrews and I'm running for U.S. Congress in the 9th District. We have to stop family separations under CPS. Title IV defunding has a lot to do with how often they separate a child from their family, and this should be made illegal. If I'm represented with your help and donations, we can have a representative in Congress that fights for families and not the corporate dollar and not the federal dollar. So remember, I am Mark Andrews and I'm running for U.S. Congress. Thank you, sir.
Crazy for sure.
Transparency in the courts! 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 Transparency in the courts!
She wants her brother! She wants her brother! She wants her brother! She wants her brother!
Children's court corrupt! Children's court corrupt! Children's court corrupt!
Abolish the family policing system!
CPS corruption!
Hello?
CPS corruption!
Are there any volunteers to hold a sign? A big sign?
CPS corruption is about money! It's about money! Lawyers from children's court are corrupt! Lawyers from children's court are corrupt together with the judge! It's a mafia! It's a mafia! Defund CPS! Defund CPS!
Defund CPS!
Defund CPS!
Defund CPS!
Defund CPS!
Defund CPS!
Defund CPS!
That guy. Defund CPS!
End court abuse!
End court abuse!
End court abuse!
End court abuse!
End court abuse! End court abuse! End court abuse! End court abuse!
End court abuse! End court abuse! End court abuse!
Stop family separation.
Stop baby hoarding! 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 Abolish CPS!
Abolish CPS!
Abolish
To understand what he did was wrong.
Abolish CPS!
He is still in CPS care. He's 16 years old. CPS. Yep, they get extra money. And he knows it. He had a supervisor.
It's abuse. Isolation is abuse.
Isolation is abuse. Separation is abuse. Separation is abuse. Separation is abuse. Right to reunite! 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 That guy right there, right to reunite! 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 Right to reunite!
Right to reunite!
Right to reunite!
Right to reunite!
Right to reunite!
Right to reunite!
Right to reunite!
Right to reunite!
Democracy in action! Democracy in action! Democracy in action!
Democracy in action.
Democracy in action!
Democracy in action. Democracy in action.
Stop killing mothers! Stop killing mothers! Stop killing mothers! We need mothers! Stop stealing mothers' babies! Bring the children home!
Leave the children home.
Bring the children home! Bring our children back.
I never seen somebody do that good.
Look my blood, my blood. I want them back. You hear me? You hear me? I want them back. They were never abused. They were loved. They missed birthdays, 2 birthdays, 2 Christmases, 4 children. Give them back.
Shut down CPS!
It's hard for me to hold back tears. For me not to say what I really want to say. I'll be convicted by the government if I say my children's name. If I show their pictures to anyone, I'll be persecuted. There'll be repercussions. I'm not allowed to love my grandchildren. For 17 months, give them back. They were never abused. All we've heard is lies. Our history has been twisted up. Every little background check eliminates all my family from qualification to take my children, my grandchildren. They have an ocean of family they ain't even looked at yet. When there is no accountability. That is a cesspool for corruption. There are only 4 entities that I know, 4 corporations that I know don't have to account for anything that they do or say. That's the FBI, the CIA, every prison system on this planet, and CPS! Zero. You don't have to do, you say anything you want, and you don't have to account for it. You do anything you want to have children, and you don't have to tell us why. And when we ask you why, you want to put us in jail. You want to lock us up. You want to call us the enemy of our own children just because we want them back. What's wrong with that? My daughter, my baby girl, gave 3 years of her life to bring 4 children, 4 wonderful children, age 12 to 4, into this world. They were her. She did all the work. And now, who are you to come in and just perfect strangers, legalize kidnappings, glorified trafficking, human trafficking, to take my grandchildren from me and don't have to tell me nothing. Don't want to tell nobody nothing. Well, who are you? We don't even know who you are, and you take our children?
You violated your kinship rights.
And you blame us for coming together like this. To speak up, all we have is our voice. Because you want to convict us for speaking up for our children. That you just come in and take and act like we are wrong for asking why, where, when, how, who, why. You had them for 17 months. What do you tell them when they ask you why can't we go home?
Not allowed to tell them anything.
You can't be telling them the truth.
4 children who know that they were so loved at home and tell them every day something that's gonna pacify them for 17 months, and you expect them to just grin and bear it and just say, okay, and pretend like you guys are not traumatizing our kids. You guys are not messing up their future mentality. This is such a scam on their life. Hopefully the younger ones are young enough where they only have glimpses of memories of this, because when they come home, we can prove to you, we can show you better than we can show you better than we can tell you how much we love our kids. If you take the time to want to be interested in how we love our kids and not looking for every little leak spot, every little ink spot on our records, want to go back and investigate everybody that want to take the kid. They find one little blemish from everybody. Anybody out here perfect? Throw the first stone if you're sinless.
Who's investigating them?
Who is investigating them? Who is holding them accountable?
Nobody.
Nobody. When was the last time you heard any media broadcast about CPS?
Never.
Just about as much as you've heard it about CIA and the FBI. And even the president is held accountable, right? Even the police have to wear camcorders now in their vest, right? Okay, why? Why can they take our special group and hide them? Oh, I love that. You have pictures. Oh my God. They told me that I would be exploiting my own grandchildren if I put pictures, the poster up there and show everybody, because I want to know who belongs to me. I want to show you guys who belongs to me. And I can't. My name is Arlington Jones. I don't care who is. They want to sue me because I'm out here standing up with my flesh and blood going here. Bring on the hype. You're going to blow me up anyway. Bring on the hype, CPS. Because San Francisco, it started there. They came to me and my wife and took our grandkids. We weren't even, we didn't even know what was happening. They just snatched them out. I was fixing them breakfast. I just got them, my boys' haircuts, because I was going to take them all to the park. And they just came and knocked on the door and took them. Hey, we're just going to go investigate this for a while, and we'll bring them right back. And that's what we were told. And from after that, we saw them. Until one of these visits about months later, in June of last year, they transferred them to Fresno. Now, hey, guess what? It started all over. The whole thing started all over again. I have family members here, thank God, that represent knowing that this injustice is widespread. I see you guys. I see you all. You all have something. I'm not alone.
They're trashing our kids out of state.
Oh my God. I'm gonna tell you something. One of the cases, I never thought that I would even be in this position where I have to imagine my child being adopted by someone. Oh, I got 4 of them. They separate here and there, moving around like chess pieces. We don't know what they're doing. And then, I believe they're trying to wean them from each other. Because nobody's going to come in there and say, hey, I'll take those 4. Nobody. Not even the rich. They want to get a chicken. They're buying groceries. You see, this is a produce. And if you look at it, the oppression, I never thought I would experience oppression. Oppression was something the slaves lived with every day. Back in that slave mentality when you were scared to say what you want to say out of fear of being convicted, or they would take you to sell off the kids. That is crazy to live in fear every day. Our babies are not for sale. DCFS are criminal syndicate. CPS is corrupt. Wake up, see CPS corruption. Families first. CPS does not protect kids. Resist CPS rally. Give families a chance. Our babies aren't for sale. no fair trial. That's our family. I want to put all y'all in it because everybody got something to say. I just want to represent because I'm telling you, you guys can tell this has been boxing with me. I said 17 months. I left the Christmas tree. They took me in October of 2020. I left the Christmas tree up in December of 2020. Thinking they were coming back. But when the Christmas tree got so old and decrepit, that's I didn't want the tree here anymore because it looked like the tree was dying. It looked like it was my hopes were dying with it. And I didn't want to look at that Christmas tree no more, so I cleared it out. But now I get in trouble for showing anyone my grandchildren's pictures. I can't put them on TV. I can't say their names.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
My photo gallery has all my grandchildren in it from the day they were all born up until the month that CPS took them, and I never really noticed that my gallery didn't have my grandchildren in it anymore. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Michelle. So glad to see you.
Thank you, Arlington, and all the grandparents like you for fighting for our children.
Everyone, let's get a group picture.
Thank you very much.
Everyone, let's get a group picture, okay? Come on, Arlington.
Give us our children back.
Accountability.
Overturn adoption.
Oversight.
Now, someone, we're also going to lead a chant.
What do we want? Our children. We want them. Now. What do we want? Our children.
Ready? Wait, what do we want?
Our children. When do we want them? Now. What do we want? Our children. When do we want them? Now. What do we want? Our children. When do we want them? Now. What do we want? Our children. When do we want them? Now.
Our children are not for sale.
Our children are not for sale. Our children are not for sale. Our children are not for sale. Our children are not for sale. Our children are not for sale. Our children are not for sale. Our children are not for sale. Our children are not for sale. Our children are not for sale. Our children are not for sale. Our children are not for sale.
Lily is the golden child, but every time she grows up, she gets treated like me. Oh, well, she acts like Lily is still with her. The way she
Give us back.
Give us
Overturn adoption! Overturn adoption!
Reunification, not separation! Let's go!
Hey guys, okay, we're going to hear the speakers because we have an assembly member speaking today. He is totally dope. He is listening to us, Assembly Member Isaac Bryan, and he is a former adoptee. So guys, I know this is long, stick around. And we are going to march and protest again after the march, so this is not done. We're going to be making noise all afternoon.
That's right!